There's a new episode that I was invited to. I'm so excited. Hey everyone. Starless Ruby here, Midi. You're such a little shit, my god. It's every time it's a work day and the episode comes out, I swear. Got earlier, 4:55 early because I've got work today. Got everything ready in the back. Might get into my uniform actually. I just wanted to wear a bit of deceit before 51 minutes. You said it was not long, Thomas, but 51 minutes is beating your record. Anyway, I'm just gonna dive right into it just because, yeah, gotta get ready. So let's just do it. I'm scared. Fear is an emotion we have right now. All right, let's do it, lads. Predictions? I'm gonna cry, or it's gonna be painful. I'm gonna lie to my emotions. I suppose I'll wear this while I'm doing it. I don't really mind.
Thomas! Oh my gosh, you made it! We're so happy to see you!
How you doing, you beautiful man?
Not taking it. Oh.
Oh, I'm sorry for calling you beautiful. That was weird. My bad.
You could call me beautiful, Mary Lee.
Creepy, I'm not gonna lie. Oh Jesus, heterosexuality.
We love each other. Hence the marriage.
Anyway, what's new, Thomas? Anything exciting going on in your life?
Hey, you okay, buddy? You look real sad in this photo I just took.
This is depressing.
Their first dance.
Oh, sorry, Thomas. Gotta go.
It was so great seeing you.
That was ominous. Ooh! Fuck yeah!
Guess who just got a call back?
Okay,
for
so we're
an
playing the
Alfred Hitchcock
beginning.
Lucas movie. When is the
I
call
wonder
back?
where my water bottle is.
He has a prior engagement that day. The wedding. Nobody's perfect except for Thomas. He loves his friends. I want to go to the callback. I hereby sentence you to
That's
one day at the
messy.
St. Clifford's Chapel on the day of Lee and Mary Lee's wedding.
Oh, honey.
What the f***, everybody? Now, kiddo, if you're gonna dish out F's, why don't we make them friendly hugs? F friends, Patton. Oh, wait, you're talking about friendly hugging your friends? No! Thomas, you should never... I mean, I'm surprised that you would say something like that about your friends. I always
reeled
thought
himself
that
in.
when it came to your pals, that sort of language would be... ineffable. Oh, it's very effable.
Oh.
It's effable as F. With a situation this... Stop. You're not at all excited for them? With so much F-use thrown about, I doubt there's much he'd like to F-use about. Right, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Am I not... Okay, you know what? Let's review. Let's do. Thank you. I hope we rhyme like this the whole way through. I hope so too. Yoo-hoo! So, let's start with the fact that the wedding was a total bust. It was? It was. It's just that going didn't pay off quite like we discussed. You mustn't think that going to a wedding to support your friends would have any sort of
That's
serving.
amazing!
But how about more than just hello? Yeah, something's iffy. Glad you're with me. That the state of things is icky. Is there something here we're missing? Maybe. No! I mean, you know that we've gone through all of this before. Before had helped you make the proper choice of wedding over your... Spare me the rest. Yes, but call it for a film that could have been my break. Yeah, you could say.
There's a lot to look at here.
Then that slimy snake who pushed to do the egocentric thing. Yeah, that's the scene. Why did you so hard to do?
Yes!
Lost at sea. Different goals
And it's feeling right. I was playing Ace Attorney actually yesterday, and I was thinking about this.
We both have lost our way. But in your face, I saw this pain, and so I made.
Maybe this outfit was
And now I have a
appropriate.
restless head, and my dad
Yeah,
always
I'm
knew this,
so
but
happy.
the way a girl might feel they just
Also, this thing's not connected, so watch. I slowly just strip the seat.
I don't know. I think this feeling's here to stay. It is a pity to admit he could have done more than just sitting at that wedding feeling. Quit reviewing. Okay.
That was
How did such an
amazing.
upsetting conversation happen in such a fun way? Why didn't they just talk to us more? Wait a minute. Why didn't I just talk to them before the wedding? I mean, I set up before, but it got shut down faster than an Antarctic ice pop shop. So, oh my gosh, I'm so stupid. I could have just told them everything. If my one interaction with them was any indication, they obviously wouldn't have cared if I wasn't there at all. Maybe so. Wait, are you having second thoughts about choosing to go to the wedding, Roman? Oh, no. Of course not. I just wish we could have known how they felt. Maybe it could have, I don't know, made things a little easier for us. Well, you know, hindsight is 20/20, so. Okay, but if you're a sighted person with less than 20/20 vision, you don't just ignore whatever you see in front of you. I see. We should start looking into ways to predict the future. No. Very good. What I'm saying is I know Lee and Mary Lee. I can predict how they might act in specific situations. I know that they are very understanding people, and I should have used that knowledge. That would have been using foresight. But I didn't do that. So I made a decision with a blindfold on. But in Patton's defense, people are complicated, fickle things, aren't they? You think you know someone, and then wham! Out of nowhere, they fill your apartment with feral cats, and now you're somehow responsible for the vet bills? You've got to give them away, but despite your cat allergy, you've endeared yourself to them, especially to Mrs. Snuffles. More like Mrs. Sniffles, because of the allergy.
The fuck?
Your point being, foresight isn't really
I mean,
the
I'd want
most
some
reliable
cats dumped
tool
on my
that we
door,
have.
please.
Cool, so we don't use it at all? We did use it. You've known Lee and Mary Lee for most of your life, and they've always lent a helping hand when you needed it.
Have they?
That's true. When your car broke down an hour out of town, who was the only person willing to come out and give you a jump? Mary Lee. I don't know what good she thought jumping would do. What you needed was somebody to fix your car. And Lee always had my back in high school after I came out. Exactly. Now here, they met up with you face to face to tell you about their wedding engagement. Biggest day of their lives. And they asked you if you could be there. I wasn't even like a groomsman or anything. Well, it's not Lee's fault that he has so many brothers. Catholics. Yeah, Catholics. Those baby-making Catholics. We didn't have the first clue how it would make them feel. You thinking about giving their wedding a pass, all because of a callback that really might not work out. And not that you're not a talented guy. No, yeah. Dame Judi Dench, or as I like to call her, Queen Groovy Bench, didn't land her first big
Roman saying bench, thank
until
you.
she was 61. So maybe they understand.
Oh, I love it.
But maybe they still really want you to go to the
too much.
wedding and feel too guilty to say so. Or maybe you end up going to the wedding, and they feel guilty seeing you there because they feel like they took a big opportunity away from you. But they wouldn't have felt that way. But we didn't know that. Foresight means thinking about every possibility. Talking to them about it could have been harmful. And this was our chance to be there for them when it counted. Was not talking to them worth it, though? I don't know. Whatever happened to karma, you know? You do something good, good stuff happens to you. Right, yeah. Why is the saying, karma's a bitch? Why can't it be, karma is a very fair person? Why does their complexion matter? Well, you know, unfortunately, life isn't always like your video games. Sometimes you can make all the good choices and still not get the good ending. I don't know if there even was a good ending to get. I'm pretty sure there was. He's a jolly good fellow, which nobody can deny, which nobody can deny. Roman, that actually does sound jolly good. I mean, sure, it does sound very jolly, and we can all agree that you are a good fellow. Can we all agree on that? Oh, yes, I can. We can all. Okay. I understand now that I have been a little much the mayor of Muchkinland. Sure, when it comes to giving Thomas the third degree on his integrity. Right. And yeah, it is my job to keep you on Santa's nice list. But
fucking get
I haven't been making you feel very nice. I don't want to make you think you're some stupid, dirty, rotten filthy, silly, Billy, no good for nothing, white, rat, scoundrel bitch. Okay, thank you for your help. You're welcome. I'm done asking, is Thomas a good person? I'm just here now to help you be as good as a good bud should. Okay, well, that's a relief.
Okay.
I think. So, yeah, you are a good fella, but not every good fella gets a big award. Only Joe Pesci. Well, what do
I
we
need
get?
music?
Sometimes it's just this. A bagel?
A bagel.
No, maybe. No,
Yeah.
nothing. It's nothing. Oh, sometimes you can't get anything because a lot of the time, people need something more than you do. Like, let's say you pass by some sort of stop where you can buy games. A game store. You mean the internet? I'm not going outside. Oh, come on, Roman. Video
Fucking
games
piece of
mean
shit.
so much indoor time that they should cost a little
I mean, if you're in the
outdoor
UK, it's
time,
just
don't you
games,
think?
so.
Anyway, you see a poster for the latest installment in the Frogger franchise. You're such a dad. Buddy, Frogger's not really a big thing anymore. And they're missing out. There is no video game character as cool as Frogger. Heck, he eats fly for breakfast.
Honey,
and trying to cross
you're
a
so
busy road
old.
without losing his froggy life. Talk about riveting. Like, you're such a dad that it's too much to handle sometimes. Anyway, everyone's raving about the new Frogger. Best one yet. Amazing graphics. At least 16 graphics. Do you even know what you're saying right now? And oh, yay! It's on sale for about, I don't know, as much as a hot dog is worth. Patton, that's how much you get when you return a game. You have just enough money to buy it, but as you walk up to the door, you're stopped by a homeless, down-on-his-luck actor. And who is it? Whoever you want. Oh, come on, Patton. How is Thomas
Nerd.
supposed to feel
Come on.
empathy for this person if he has no one to visualize? Alrighty, it's Leslie Odom Jr. What? Why Leslie? I need backstory for this. What happened, Pat? I don't know. He spilled his drink on Stephen Sondheim at a party, and Sondheim said, "Gosh darn it, Leslie, you'll never work in this razzle-dazzle town again." He should just move to another town, right? Wow. This hypothetical version of Stephen Sondheim sounds like a real mother crupper. So,
Okay, we'll go with
Mr.
it.
Odom Jr. tells you that he's very hungry, and he points
Feral
you
Patton,
to
thank
a
you.
hot dog vendor. It's just a few yards away. By the liquid lipstick of William Shakespeare, a hot dog would cost Thomas his entire Frogger fund. It's all coming together. What do you do?
He's
Pretend
getting
you're
invested,
John
he just
Oliver
said.
leaves you alone. Tell him, I don't have any money, Leslie. Hightail it the heck out of here. Buy him a hot dog, or do you hightail it the heck out of there?
And I really, really want this Frogger game.
Yeah, you do. You woke up at 6 a.m. dull to go and get it. 6 a.m. dull? Do you mean sharp? No, that's really early for you. So you weren't quite able to get out of bed until like 6:08. Well, regardless, of course I buy him the hot dog. So you muster up the will to give him a dinner that he could relish. Only, when he takes the hot dog, he walks away without thanking you. What do you do now? Do you say, "You're welcome," in a way that lets him know you think he was rude? Do you prompt him by saying, "What do you say?" Do you physically take the hot dog?
Steal the hot dog.
Or do you go about your day?
I mean, there's an obvious right answer here.
Please don't tell me you're going to wrestle Tony Award-winning actor Leslie Odom Jr. for a hot dog.
What? No. I'm gonna go about my day.
Even though he didn't say thank you, he doesn't have to. Just like you didn't have to get him a hot dog. I feel like you kind of do, though. Maybe. You don't need the new Frogger. Well, no one needs a new Frogger. Why do you think Thomas has to give the money, Patton? Well, because that money was going to a luxury item. In that situation, it's so easy. It's all right in front of you. A hungry
Selfishness.
person comes up to you and says, "I need food."
Pan,
And the
you need
food
to
I
consider
is
about
right
Thomas's
there.
needs.
You have the money, and it wasn't going to something
It's-
you needed. You
Maybe.
can disagree, but I feel like it might be kinda wrong to keep the money for yourself. Mamma mia! Jesus Christ!
Hey, Logan!
Superstar. What is that?
It's just me, Logan.
I've taken this form because I didn't want to be too invasive. You very much did not succeed. What you doing, Logan? Well, determining what feels right or wrong for you isn't really my area of expertise. Seeing how there's
Yeah, I was
not
gonna say.
much left at stake at this juncture, and that regret, unfortunately, is a process that can't be expedited, I decided that I need not expend too much energy on this matter. However, I felt that it would behoove all parties involved if I provided relevant information to serve as supporting evidence.
I was
to
gonna
any of
say,
the
without
arguments that
Logan
are
giving
made
us the
during today's
old
discussion.
razzle dazzle.
Oh, so you're making your little factoids optional this time around. Facts. Factoid is a term coined by Norman Miller to describe false facts invented for magazines in order to manipulate their readers. And yes, I suppose they could be viewed as optional, your two options being informed or ignorant. Oh, I've got this one, guys.
Thanks, Roman.
Thanks,
Roman.
I'm just kidding. Roman, you shouldn't push people's buttons. Enough
Hey.
joking. Roman, go on, Logan. Jesus Christ, superstar. Thank you, Thomas. Oh! Guess I won't be wrestling a hot dog away from Logan. Cause he thanked me. I'm
Honey,
sorry.
you tried.
Please go ahead, Logan.
Please wrestle
Holy
Logan.
hero, we got
For a hot dog.
It would be an estimated annual cost of $20 billion to eliminate
Oh, so-
homelessness in the United
okay,
States.
so-
According to Mark Johnston, the act... lost all that. Okay, Americans spend more than $20 billion on Christmas decorations and flowers every year, so it would seem that many Americans do have the currency to spare to end homelessness in the United States forever. Whew, okay. I'm not doing that again. I am sorry. That was too fast. Can you... One more time, Roman. Huh.
Pat, don't be a
I
shit.
guess everyone doing their small part for those in need could make a difference. Yeah, and even if I can't change things on my own, something as little as briefly helping a greatly troubled, prodigious actor would still give me more pleasure than playing Frogger. Well, yeah. I mean, it's Frogger we're talking about. Like, it's not like Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, as long as that's not the main reason you're doing
Thank
it.
you.
What? Oh, well, you
Pada.
shouldn't do a good thing just because it makes you feel good. I think.
Okay.
You literally said the opposite to Deceit when we were back in the courtroom. Yeah, I did. But we all agreed that in that situation, the right thing to do was go to the wedding, which didn't feel good at all. So I was wrong.
I mean, he's the only
Not to
one
mention, Deceit said that you'd be
who
doing
has to
the
deal
right
with this.
thing for a selfish reason if you did it for your own emotional
He's
gain.
trying to learn,
You
but he's backpedaling because he doesn't
Definitely.
understand now.
Maybe? Great.
So I
love that.
kind of-
I
I'm a
mean,
bit
you know,
bad for
I
him.
think so.
Because everyone's
What
kind
do
of
you
judging
think?
him, and he's not sure what the hell to do.
I think we all know I'm not exactly an expert in the moral medium. No, go ahead, Roman. I'd like to hear from you. Okay. I don't know how much it matters why you do something. What do you mean? Oh, it was nothing. It was stupid. Oh, no, please.
Well, no, it's-
Continue. Yeah,
He's material,
I'm sorry,
Jane.
Roman.
He's a goal.
Okay. So, like, say a very handsome prince. Who's the prince? I don't know. Yeah, Leslie Odom Jr. Oh, wow! Guess old Sondheim couldn't keep him down. Yeah, that's right. From homeless and royally screwed to castle-dwelling royalty, too. Just your typical Tuesday. Anyway, Leslie offers up a reward. What's the reward? Leslie's famous cake. Phrasing. What? Leslie's literal cake that he baked. Oh my gosh. He offers it to
What does that
whosoever
mean?
is able to rescue his kingdom from the clutches of the astute-bellied tyrant who
Hey,
is
baby.
currently occupying
He's
said
just- he's
kingdom.
Bowser.
Even if someone
I love
rescued
it.
the kingdom for the reward?
What did
I
he
don't
shoot out of
know.
his mouth?
I just feel like
Awesome looking.
it doesn't make much of a difference so long
Yeah,
as
blanket and cold.
all of the denizens are liberated? Huh, that is something that, I don't know if it's right. You don't know if it's a good thing that everyone was saved? Wow, Patton, way to be side with valid doubts about a complex
You tried,
moral
Roman.
issue. Of course, I think it's good that the kingdom is safe. That's great.
Yeah.
The most important thing. But, yeah, you know, the people in this kingdom are suffering at the slimy hands of this reptilian rapscallion. I was just blanking on the word guy, but, you know, sure, people are being
Blanking.
hurt by
Okay.
this reptilian with scallions. No, and this person
Comfy.
doesn't care about them? They just want to earn some reward? That doesn't sound like a very good person to me.
No, honey.
Yeah, probably not. Fair enough, but I wouldn't
See,
even
this
argue
is the
for
thing.
that much.
They both
Saving
work
people for
together.
a
It's just
reward is
getting
totally different from
the
helping
little
someone
bits
else just
from
because
Roman
it feels
and Pam.
nice to help. Like if the
Too
person
much
in
of
Roman's
Roman
scenario saved the kingdom just because it made them
is
feel
material
good,
game,
then
but too much
no
of
one
Pam
would
is
argue that they aren't a good person. Well, I mean,
selfless.
maybe not. Am I not allowed to feel good if I do something good? Well, of course you are. That's just not why you do it. At least, I don't think so. But I mean, your morality, you're the guy who makes that call.
Catman,
so
shut up.
why do we do it? Well, you don't do it because it makes you feel good. You do it because it's the right thing to do. Okay. How do we know it's the right thing to do? You just know. Okay, that's not exactly the kind of answer I was hoping for, but well, it's kind of just in all of us, you know? Why is killing and stealing illegal everywhere? Why do we all agree that that's
Thomas,
not
please.
okay to do? I think it all comes back to empathy. Humans understand each other. We know what feels good and what causes pain. If a whole kingdom is in danger, well, everyone kind of knows that the right thing to do, if you can save a large group of innocent people, is save them. Well, okay. What about, let me ask you this. What if you can only save the large group of people by hurting another innocent person?
Earthbound.
That causes pain,
Nice.
but you said the right thing to do is to save the group? Oh, can't hurt an innocent person.
Oh, that's a bit.
Constructive
Oh, that's a
criticism,
bit.
you know, maybe not the big scenarios where my friends die.
Chills.
Okay. I'm really not trying to argue with you.
Thank you, Logan. I'm trying to read what you're saying.
Everyone knows that it's right to save innocent people when you can. Is that not
Just do
always
the
true?
memes,
Well,
put them all on the track.
not when it's like that. It's never okay to hurt an innocent person. So that rule trumps the other rule. Roman! You know we don't like to use the T word in this house. Oh, sorry. So the rule about not hurting people overrules the rule about
Got it.
saving people. Yeah, that makes sense, right? What? But what about the people that got hurt? That was a terrible tragedy that you couldn't do anything about. But you could have done something. You could have redirected the train. But that
That's a
something wasn't an
problem.
okay thing to do. Okay, so it's not about the end result then. It's about the how. Like,
look, you're overloading
how
the
you
poor
do
baby.
Whatever you do. Right. The how.
You can't
And
get
the
out of
why.
that.
You don't let the train hit the group of people because you think they deserve to get hit more than the one person. Oh my God. Patton, my blinds! I am so sorry. Did you break my blinds?
What the
Up too close there. Oh. Thanks, Roman.
What the fuck?
You really cut the tension there. Okay. You okay? Oh yeah, I'm great. You sure? Yeah, I'm good. Figment of your imagination. So okay. So about the whole why
Fucking-
thing. What
Is this
is
the
a good
bully
why
pattern to
when it comes to
submission
why I should
episode?
do good? Yeah, I know you said earlier
Oh my
you do it because
God,
it's right.
uppercut.
So I guess what I'm asking is, what do I do it for? What's the outcome? What motivates me? I mean, I don't have all the answers, but I would say putting more good into the world. I wish that was a more satisfying answer, but it
He
just
can't give you more.
isn't.
He doesn't. He's not your whole
You know,
person.
I'm not doing a really great job explaining this philosophy.
Mm.
Logan, what would a real philosopher think about what I'm saying here? Well, Friedrich Nietzsche really wouldn't have been thrilled with anything you've had to say.
Duh.
Merely because pity seems to be at the center of your idea of putting good into the world. That's not what
Nietzsche famously rejected the notion that pity was a virtue. He once claimed that pity runs counter to the instincts that preserve
Okay.
and enhance the value of life.
Thank you for the
Thomas
accent.
is-
Well, you can't exactly learn how to care about others from a book, can you?
Pattern.
It's okay, Patton. I mean, I
Honey.
don't really agree with the Mustache Meister either.
He does have a super duper unique mustache.
What he calls pity, I call empathy, and empathy is good.
Mm.
But I really don't understand what I need to change so that I can meet your standard of having the right motivation.
I think I understand. Your desires are getting in the way. The problem is, in all honesty, that you want to spend your money on that new Frogger game more than you want.
Roman's being
or even
selfless.
think to give your
Patton's
money
being
to the
selfish.
homeless.
This is not an accident. Don't do that.
And that you wanted to go to that
Okay, it's 5:20.
callback more than you wanted to support your friends. The blame falls to me.
No, it doesn't.
If you're missing
It's
that
fine, I want something.
do-gooder drive, I think it's because I'm in the driver's seat,
Don't do that,
and I'm an
Roman.
awful driver.
I mean, it could be.
Perhaps I should let Patton take the wheel.
No.
Roman,
No.
I only mean well when I say that is the stupidest thing
Thank you.
you have ever said.
Thank
No,
you.
Thomas. You're just blowing smoke.
Really, Roman, it's the opposite. I need you on my team more than anyone. If we're talking about a drive or Thomas's will, then there's honestly no side more helpful than you.
I mean, I guess.
But I get why Roman's confused. Patton, I don't know what form the drive you're talking about would take. Everything I do is motivated by some sort of feeling. I eat because I feel hungry. I drink because I feel thirsty. I don't know what feeling would motivate me to go out and do good if not some sense of self-satisfaction. The only thing I'm feeling right now is guilt over the things that do motivate me. Which kind of makes me not want to do anything. Oh, gosh, I'm sorry about whatever I said to make you feel that way. Doing nothing is even worse.
What?
Never mind. I'm sorry.
Worse? Worse than what?
I don't know if I should say.
You might as well.
I'm kind of scared too. Look, Patton, I already feel bad, so I'd rather not feel bad and confused. Doing nothing is worse than doing a good thing for the wrong reasons. Like, we talked about how you have to... Well,
Why are you closing your
I
eyes,
think
honey?
It's good to give your money to a good cause if you were planning to spend it on something you don't need. And I feel like the same principle kind of goes for spending time? Maybe? Time spent serving up knuckle sandwiches to bad guys in a video game could maybe be better spent serving up soup and sandwiches to the hungry in a local shelter.
Oh, fine. This is
Difference of opinion on
hard.
this one, Patton.
Thank you, Logan.
I'm sure we're all familiar with the somewhat tired metaphor for self-care. You must put on your own oxygen mask before helping your fellow passenger. An analogy that warns against the practice of helping others with their personal issues when you yourself are in need of help.
I do need help.
It's ironic that illustration so
This
overused
episode's
at this point
hard,
because it
man.
has almost become as easy to tune out that advice
Both
as
of
it
these
is to
guys
tune
are
out the
killing
actual
me for
safety
this.
instructions on a flight. Easy and very dangerous. In the event that a plane cabin becomes depressurized, you do not have long to secure your oxygen mask before you risk your oxygen saturation levels dropping too much, leading to hypoxia, which is just insufficient oxygen for life functions. Hypoxia symptoms can include an inability to communicate, confusion, unconsciousness, and possible death.
3 out of 4 of those are normal for me. Do I have hypoxia right now?
Having heard a
No.
piece of information before does not
Honey.
give you license to ignore it in the future, especially when the consequences of forgetting are so perilous.
Logan, I completely agree with you. but I really don't see how that relates to what we're talking about. Yeah, Logan, like you said earlier, this isn't really your area of expertise. Patton never said Thomas couldn't help himself, especially in a situation as dire as putting on his oxygen mask in a
No, it's gonna
compound
be...
plane. Of course I wouldn't say that. I've agreed in the past that Thomas should take the time to make sure he's doing okay and to temporarily put himself first if he needs to.
And just like all of the moral dilemmas we've been discussing, it can seem easy to confidently state what you would do in a difficult situation without legitimately knowing how you would behave when your instincts take over. In theory, you believe Thomas can and should take some time to care for himself, but every point you've made in today's discussion has contradicted that sentiment.
What?
Yeah.
No, how? I don't think video games versus community service is a threat to Thomas taking care of himself.
Nearly every answer Patton has given to the moral questions throughout this discussion has suggested that a moral life is a life without spending surplus capital and time on leisure activities. Dr. Robert A. Stebbins defined leisure as activity engaged in during free time which people want to do and actually do in either a satisfying or a fulfilling way or both. Leisure means experiencing freedom. It's your time and you do what you want with it, which in turn contributes to a feeling of control and improved self-esteem. A lack of control and self-esteem are two factors that you all now understand can worsen Thomas's relationship with intrusive thoughts, and they have. Additionally, Doctors Iwasaki, Messina, and Hopper wrote that leisure time promotes a joyful life. And if that isn't enough, pleasurable activities stimulate the production of neurochemicals, which can then improve one's physical health. Leisure is something that Thomas needs more of in his life in order to feel like he has a life. And Patton is essentially suggesting that Thomas isn't being as good of a person as he'd like him to be if he doesn't sacrifice his life for others.
Whoa! That is not what I said.
Oh,
Yeah,
is it
it is.
not? Please correct me if I'm wrong.
What? You're wrong.
So if it was between Thomas's life or another's, you don't think Thomas should give his life up?
Whoa,
And this other
Logan.
person is an innocent little lamb.
Okay,
Or how about a group of innocents?
I don't actually, I would like to know, Patton, what should Thomas do in that kind of situation?
Oh, no.
I don't know.
Oh, Jesus!
Please calm down.
We do all think of people who lay down their lives for others as the greatest heroes, so I don't know.
I knew that was gonna break him.
You suggested that all people naturally understand right and wrong. So, should Thomas die so that others may live?
Yes, I mean, maybe, or maybe not. What do I know? What you think, Thomas, if it's your life or Leslie's?
Like the slow wit of Heracles.
What is happening?
Leslie, out of this one! But how is Thomas supposed to feel empathy for this person if he has no one to visualize?
Is there no one else he can feel empathy for?
You're right, Roman. Thomas's life for Lee and Mary Lee.
Stardew Valley?
Thomas, I don't know the right answer here. It's up to you.
Oh, that's creepy.
This isn't working. This entire conversation has become so muddled due to a constant misleading misuse of conscientious language. You'll need a sharp side to cut through all this bull. Frog, a sort of subterfuge specialist. The Lord of the Lies. I'm happy to oblige. Reptilian Reptilian.
Don't mind deceit cosplay up too fast. Oh, my Stan.
Nothing at all, and I resent the question. Hold on! What are you talking about, Deceit? Who's misleading who? Patton's misleading you.
Protect him!
I may be amphibian, but I can't say that I am amphibian.
That's richer than Jeff Bezos coming from the South.
Oh, I love
Lord of the Lies. Do keep it up with the wordplay. It never gets old. He didn't mislead you on purpose, Thomas. I don't think the little guy, or the big frog, is capable of that sort of thing. He may have just threatened the life of Broadway's original Aaron Burr himself, but you leave our rosy-cheeked riveter alone. Patton, I'm loving this new direction that you're going with your rhetoric, sprinkling in a few maybes, who knowses, or what do you think? Why are you doing that?
Because I found out that I was being too tough on
inadequate for not dying in someone else's stead isn't tolerable.
I love this!
Here's the thing, Patton. Pushy is pushy. That faux flexible rhetoric that you're using to soften your approach doesn't change your intentions. It just disguises them.
That was just a hypothetical. Patton's not actually suggesting that Thomas should pursue martyrdom. Right, I don't want Thomas to croak. That's my job.
We're talking about what-ifs, worst-case scenario kind of stuff.
What I am saying is Thomas has a really good life that other people don't. You're over there talking about putting on your oxygen mask before helping another passenger, but we're not in a crashing plane. If the situation was that serious, then sure, he can focus entirely on himself. But does he deserve it? I don't know. Man, I don't know if I can believe whatever you tell me.
Oh.
Treating yourself is something
Hey,
that
you just knocked
can't
Thomas out
take
doing that.
too far.
You can take anything too far, Patton. You've taken things too far. The plane is going down. You need to give Thomas some room to breathe.
I really don't know what I'm talking about. I can't not know. Patton, what are you saying? We can still beat him. We've beaten him before.
Hey, baby!
Sorry, I have not looked in this direction the whole time. Don't give up now. No,
Oh, I wish I didn't take my
That's
seat cosplay off. I had to.
I'm bringing this plane
Alright,
down. What? How? He's the actual snake on the plane. And I, for one, am tired of this morality-fighting snake on this metaphorical plane.
You know, I'm actually glad you brought up the oxygen mask illustration again, Patton.
And that means you're not glad, right?
Of course not. He's just trying to build up a false confidence in you so that you can plummet to even greater depths. That does sound like a very funny, wholesome prank, but no, I mean it. The idea is that you need not reach for your oxygen mask unless the plane is crashing. But when you apply that logic to real life, the analogy falls apart. A plane going down is an emergency. But self-care shouldn't be put off until you experience a mental health crisis. Mental health management is a little more like training to be a lifeguard. You have to spend time practicing and preparing and building up your strengths so that when you're inevitably faced with an emergency, you're better equipped to handle it.
Wait, but you just used a job that's all about helping others as a metaphor for me putting myself first.
Yeah, Joy! I realized that before you brought it up.
I'm
Just
such
as
a
I'm sure
nerd.
you realize a metaphor someone makes up on the spot isn't going to be perfect. How about this?
Even this. Come on.
So, in some games, you have to use your turn to give yourself a power boost or to heal yourself. And even though that move only benefits you in that instant, it ultimately makes you a more helpful party member. Oh, shit. Not that any of you care, but I am unharmed, and I don't want to talk about it. I'm just here to deliver one last fact, then I will do you all a favor and spare you my company.
Oh, Logan,
Peter Singer is an Australian philosopher and activist who champions the movement known as effective altruism. The primary feature that differentiates effective altruism from other moral philosophies is its practicality. It employs the heart and the mind so that effective altruism can earn its namesake and actually be effective. The
I just
aim is to help
realised,
as
I
many
mean,
people as possible while
Thomas
maintaining
recorded the
a
seat
perfectly
and didn't tell
adequate
any of us.
standard
A little
living.
shit.
So, a poor, sick person giving 5 of their last 15 cents to an aid organization, while incredibly altruistic, is not effective altruism because that money won't go very far, and the act would only harm that person's already unacceptable standard of living. Fellow effective altruist William McCaskill recommends that people who can, and are inclined to, should go into fields like banking or finance because more money earned means more money to give.
right. Like I said, I need to give myself a buff so that I can better help others.
And you need to maintain an adequate standard of living. You can't forget that part. If the variety of generosity that you subscribe to leaves you feeling depressed or like your life isn't your own, then you need to reevaluate things.
What do you know? If it came down to video games or volunteering at a local shelter, it actually might be okay to prioritize gaming sometimes, if video games are an essential ingredient in your recipe for self-care. Emphasis on the sometimes, though, right? We should still try to help those in need. Whatever, sure, if that's your thing. I mean, totally, yes, of course. But mental health should be regarded with the same life or death attitude as physical health. You've been taught to feel guilty for taking care of yourself. But you were also taught that Christopher Columbus was a pretty cool guy. A lot of your education was, of course, forgive the pun. So what, we're supposed to do a complete 360 and head right back into Selfish City? You mean a 180? Don't you talk to me about math. You're not Fogan anymore.
Fogan.
That's Faux Logan, if you're too slogan. You're right. So why don't we move on to something we're both familiar with, Roman? Mistakes. I was actually very impressed with you. You made such a noble sacrifice. Don't try to flatter me, Snake. I don't need to flatter you now, Roman. I mean this. You when you sentenced Thomas to attend the wedding instead of the callback. That was a costly choice. Thomas lost a huge opportunity and a good amount of mental health points in the name of being there for his friends. He didn't get anything out of it other than a new high score in Word Crush. That's the closest to an act of true selflessness that I believe is possible. And look, it served no one. Lee and Mary Lee seem to have appreciated Thomas showing face as much as they would have appreciated any other guest's attendance. So if they gained nothing, and we lost something, then it was a net loss. So maybe selflessness isn't always the answer. Okay, well, that's over and done with, so what now? You need to unlearn that selfish is a dirty word, and for your sake, you need to start practicing a little more selfishness. In moderation, as all things should be. Well, almost all things. What do you mean by almost all things? You're right, we wouldn't want to plant too many trees. Just think of all the CO2 that might be absorbed. Huh? You got me there. Well, wait a minute. Trees? No, selfishness!
Oh.
How long must we act selfishly until Thomas is ready to start putting more good into the world? A good question for another time. But I'm sure you'd have us believe that that time will never come. And even if it does, what's to stop you from telling us that we've done enough good for others, when maybe we could do more? Oh, Thomas dropped a dime in the St. Jude charity box. What a good boy you are, Thomas. Nay, I say! We are ethically compromised if we give the Bananaconda a seat at the table.
Give it to him, bitch.
I don't know that we are. We can't trust him. He's asking us to go back on things we've known for years. Rights and wrongs. Shoulds and shouldn'ts. How can we trust him? I don't have a simple answer to that question. But here's a start. My name. My name is Janice.
Janice.
Janice? What are you, a middle school librarian? It's a stupid name. Oh, Roman, thank God you don't have a mustache. Otherwise, between you and Remus, I would know who the evil twin is. Are you guys seriously going to take his side? No, over me? Thomas. I thought I was your hero. You are. Wow. I can't believe this. Did you forget that he's evil? You're not. Or you're not supposed to be. You're supposed to be good. You can't. Roman. Everything's gonna be okay, kiddo. We love you. Right? Janice, do you think there's a limit on how many times someone can say sorry before you have to admit that they're just bad for you? Oh, definitely not. I'd love for someone to ruin Thomas's entire life one apology at a time. Okay. The reality is that it depends. On what? Where to start? How many things have they had to apologize for? How frequently do they have to apologize for things? How terrible were the things that they did? One of the biggest factors, in my very humble opinion, is whether or not they seem to be making an honest effort to do better, even if that effort is counterproductive. That does sound very annoying. Again, it depends.
Oh, sorry.
I guess I know who I need to apologize to. I'm so sorry, Leslie.
Fucking Christ!
Just hope today we all learned not
Yeah,
to...
thank you, Leslie. Yes, Leslie Jr., everyone. Thank you. Yes, thank you. This is Sandra sides, not Odom sides. I'm not threatened at all. And Thomas, yes?
Oh,
I think I finally understand what my problem has been. Oh, yeah? Time.
oh.
When you were
I
younger,
knew I was going to cry this episode. I
pointing
told
you in the
you.
right direction was a little easier. Those examples I gave earlier, don't kill, don't steal, they're not really difficult conclusions to come to. Even those can get kind of complicated. I don't want to think about that. But maybe that proves my point. A more mature person comes with more mature moral questions. Like I told you before, sometimes I don't know the way. But when I told you that, you were so scared. I couldn't bear it. So I said to myself, all right, Patton, Thomas needs you. You're responsible for his morality. You can never not have an answer for him. And then I promised you I'd keep fighting. Unfortunately, I learned the hard way that giving too simple of answers to complicated questions can do more harm than good. So,
See, it was MVP
I'm sorry.
here. Oh, sorry. Janice.
Again, it's
What do you mean?
okay, Patton. I know you'll do anything you can to make things
cute.
right. Thanks for trusting me still, kiddo. I'm gonna go check on Roman. Before you go, I think I understand now what it means, deceit being here as a part of me. Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah, that's cool. Talk about me like I'm not here. Yeah, and it's not that I'm an evil liar or even a fractionally fiendish fibber. Everyone has a capacity for deceit, including me. And all that means is I'm not perfect. Just like anyone else. And those imperfections don't make you any less worthy of love. Janice, I'll take care of him. So, I suppose now we begin compiling a list of people we need to nudge down a flight of stairs until they hold another round of combat. Oh my gosh, no! Relax, I'm kidding. Of course I'm kidding. Baby steps. No! No baby steps! No steps! And no throwing people down them! No violence! You're right, of course. There are much less barbaric, much more fun forms of sabotage. Don't make me regret trusting you. I don't want to be stuck with an evil snake boy. You're not stuck
Evil
with an
snake boy.
evil snake boy. You're just stuck with a snake boy. Oh, but seriously, using a mobile game to hide from your sadness and regret at the wedding doesn't count as leisure time. Take some time for yourself, Thomas. You're right. Oh, I'm sorry, what was that? I couldn't hear you. You're right. Yes! It feels so good! So good!
I love it.
And I know how much you love these constant dilemmas, so please, keep overthinking everything. Yeah, I do need to work on that. While there is likely more that you can do to put good into the world, you shouldn't beat yourself up over what you can't do or what you haven't done before. It doesn't help anyone. So don't overthink it. Just try. All you have to do is try your best to be helpful and to do your part, whatever that is, with the understanding that you can never get doing good down to a science. It's going to look different for everyone. And don't be afraid to give to yourself either. If someone else ever did as much for you as you've probably done for yourself, you would owe them everything. Treat yourself the way you would treat someone who has endlessly labored to give you a better life, or who has always helped you to remain on your feet through the toughest, most emotionally challenging periods of your life. Try to find your balance between doing good for others and doing good for yourself, because finding a universally correct balance between the two is impossible. And sometimes painful. So just trust yourself. Until next time, take it easy, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Peace out. Hey, guys.
Sorry, bud.
I forgot, you don't like door yelling.
Nah, no worries. It wasn't so much the yelling as it was
Was
people
that anxiety acting up?
at my door.
Oh my gosh, I love you.
Yeah, can you actually marry both of us now?
Yes, please. I really want to spend the last 2 pennies in my bank account on a second wedding.
I'm sorry, guys. I can't be tamed. And it looks like you're gonna have to terrify some other more docile bachelor.
Almost had him.
I know. You didn't tell me you guys were coming over. What's up?
Well, we just felt kind of bad because you made it all the way out to our wedding and we barely got to hang out with you.
Oh, what? I barely even noticed.
Really? Because you were sitting alone at the reception.
I was just trying to take it all in. You know, a lot of mental snapshots. I'm trying to go less digital this year.
But you were on your phone.
I was also taking literal snapshots with my phone. I mean, phones are barely digital at this point, right?
Totally.
Well, regardless, we thought we'd try to win back your friendship by bribing you with some treats.
What? You guys didn't have to do that.
Mimosa and pastry.
Brunch Tuesdays.
Brunch Tuesday.
Little throwback.
Oh my goodness gracious, it looks like we're gonna make a the mosta this afternoon with some mimosas.
So this is like what you do for a living? Comedy?
Yeah, I'm a hack.
Well, are you busy? We could just leave these with you.
Oh no, I was just playing Kingdom Hearts, a game that really centers around the concept of friendship. Would you care to join me?
Why would you even ask us that?
What about us showing up at your door with a bunch of brunch and some booze juice makes you think that we enjoy your company?
Cool, come in. We can also do something else if you don't want to play video games.
I feel that.
Well, seems like things worked out after all. Guess I was wrong about everything. You and I both know that's not true.
I think Odom Size would be cool. Watch Odom Size. Do what he can do.
What is up, everybody?
That's scary, but I feel like...
Okay. Gosh.
Mosi. Oh my god, these episodes are killing me, I swear to god. And I have a lot of time to talk. I still have time to talk before work. Didn't expect to cry. Didn't expect my Satan boy to be there either, but heyo. Thoughts. I mean, there's a lot to take in this. A lot. This was another hard episode to watch, just because everyone kind of got roasted really fucking hard. Because first it was Patton getting roasted, then we roasted Roman down to his core, and then we bullied Janice. Oh, I love you, Janice. That's such a good name. It's not Dorian, or Dimitri, or Dee, but Janice is cute. I actually like it. It actually really works. The Logan tidbits were great. Oh my god, knocking Patton out surprised me. The pixel animation, there's a reason pixel animation really works with horror and unsettlingness, which is funny with Earthbound and stuff. Every single time, like, the wedding one at the very beginning and the train is two of the creepy ones. Like, you can really get some horror out of fucking pixel animation, which, god, I think that's what they were going for, and that's... Oh, yeah, I felt that fear in me there, boy. The rap was amazing. I love the rap. I wasn't expecting that one. And I can see why it's their favourite. No anxiety, I kind of guess why, because of the last episode. You can't have everyone. Yeah, I mean, Janice, oh my god, I'm so happy because Pan lost it. I knew they were pushing him too far, and it wasn't fair. This is what I was trying to say in the thing, is like, he doesn't know, and you're both pushing him for an answer, and he's stumbling because he's trying to say what he thinks, but then it's contradicting another thing, until you eventually break the boy, and it's like, it's understandable. No one knows those questions. It's a bit unfair to put the fucking train track question as well. It is a good question of moral, but your morality is trying to figure it out. It's not a person, it's his entire life, and he's trying to change that for Thomas. But then, you know, it's like, they're right. They're taking too much selflessness here, and that's what's clouding them. Roman as well, feeling bad it was his fault. Because that's the thing, they both work well together, but really in this situation, Roman and Patton were going around in circles. There wasn't a solution per se, because they were both getting confused. They were both blaming themselves. So it was really, oh my god, I knew it was, I'm really happy to see it did show up, because SVS is kind of him and Patton, really. It's his territory as much as it is Patton's and Roman's. And he saved the day. Oh my god. I cried because it was hard. Like, he was legit trying to be honest in that moment to help them. And then Roman... And then the mention of Remus. I'm really curious, but it seems like... I forget things on the spot. That's really weird. What was his name again? Janice! Yeah, that happens to me a lot. I forget on the middle of a sentence. Yeah, Janet's mentioning, oh, who's the evil twin here? And I'm like, how bad is he to... Janice. There we go. Forgot about that again. But, yeah. Now Roman's in a state. Patton is somewhat better. Virgil's in a state. Logan's Logan. Janice now gets a seat at the table, thank fuck, please. He deserves it. The boy deserves to speak because he knows we've won. And the most seat at the end. They are yin and yang. Those fucking bit. I know I'm talking shippings, but if I went, ignore that for 2 seconds. The yin and yang between the two is beautiful. They need each other to keep the other in line, but too much of one thing, it's too much. It's the same principle with all the characters. It's too much, it's in moderation. God bless him for telling people to push down the stairs, and Thomas was like, no. And to see it making his stupid little noises, I love them. I didn't expect I would love him that much. I said to see. It's gonna take me a while, guys. It is like 5:22 a.m. Anyway, yeah. Pixar animation, oh, amazing. God bless. The acting killed me. Again, I don't know what happened. I just cried. It's really rare for me to cry in media. I'm just going to tell you that right now. So, thank you, Thomas, for actually getting my emotions and ripping them in half. You got my pan and destroyed him. And one more thing before we finish. Yeah, the whole be selfish sometimes, have self-worth. Oh, just like the last video. I've empathized too much with this video. It's like, I do also have problems with self-esteem issues, and Deceit's right. Oh, sorry. Janice is right. Sure, Jan. Oh my god, you could do the Sure Jan meme. Oh. Anyway. Yeah. They're right. You need to take more self-care. You need to see that you are also in this picture. You are not... You matter as much as everybody else with mental health. And this series is really good. Like, it took a while, but it was worth it. This was amazing. And you said it wasn't a long video. 51 minutes is kinda 10 minutes longer than the second one. This video recording's an hour. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna get to work, so I love all of you. And I'll see you in the next episode, which will always destroy us. Thanks again, Thomas, for an amazing show. Bye, guys. I told you I was in this episode.